Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Tuesday, March 21. I am Abigail Smythe. Before we get into the newscast, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and your friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. A security guard was beaten by gunmen during an attempted robbery at a National Commercial Bank (NCB) automated teller machine (ATM) at Bank House Mall in Mandeville Tuesday morning. A police source confirmed that the incident happened around 2 a.m. The source says the guard, who was on duty, was bound and beaten and had to be taken to hospital for treatment after the gunmen attacked him. The gunmen reportedly vandalized the ATM but were unsuccessful in removing cash from it. The Manchester police have increased their patrols close to ATMs and money couriers. The police have detained a suspect in connection with Sunday's $23 million heist at a Scotiabank ATM in Brayton Park, Portmore, St. Catherine. 4 security guards attached to Beryllium, part of the Guardsman Group of companies, as well as a licensed firearm holder, were wounded during the attack. The security guards were about to service the ATM when they were shot by armed thugs with high-powered weapons. Head of the Criminal Investigation Branch, Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Cleon Marsh, says the investigators have made significant progress in the case. He says they have not recovered any of the money taken during the robbery, but notes that the police have identified the likely perpetrators. Director of Operations at the Guardsman Group, Lieutenant Commander George Overton, has put financial institutions on notice to brace for an increase in the cost of transporting money amid rising threats to security guards. The warning follows 2 high-profile heists in Portmore, St. Catherine, where security personnel were ambushed by heavily armed thugs as they attempted to replenish cash at automated teller banking machines. Commander Overton says in light of these incidents, clients will soon have to pay the real cost of transporting cash. The high-powered firefights caused widespread disruption in cash circulation across at least 3 commercial banks in Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Catherine over the last 24 hours. Commander Overton says despite the disruptions, the financial institutions have so far been reluctant to discuss the increased costs that come with the secure transportation of cash. He says the recent attacks will cause continued upheaval in the security sector, which could affect job security. Beryllium suspended some services on Monday to allow for its staff to benefit from counseling. Several security guards hired to the company reportedly failed to show up for duties on Tuesday. School administrators were forced to summon the police to the St. Andrew-based Queen's School on Tuesday after an incident involving students at the institution. It is understood that 3 students went on a roof and refused to come down. It is understood that at least one of the students threatened to jump. It is unknown what caused the students to go on the roof, but reports suggest that an internal conflict between 4th form students is behind the decision. Further reports indicate that there were a series of fights between students at the institution on Tuesday. Teachers across the island are set to receive their retroactive payments and payments under their new salary rates starting today, March 21. The announcement follows the decision by the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, last Monday to accept the government's offer under the revised compensation review package. In a statement, the Education Ministry says efforts are being made to ensure that all 25,000 teachers, including principals, receive their new salary increase starting today through to Thursday of this week. The police in St. Anne are probing what is believed to be a case of drowning involving a German man at a beach in Prairie on Monday. The deceased has been identified as 56-year-old Christoph Schubart. It is believed that Schubart suffers from an epileptic condition. Reports are that sometime after midday, Schubart went snorkeling and got into difficulties. He was transported to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital where he was pronounced dead. A 26-year-old man who was reported missing last Saturday was found Tuesday morning in Mother White Gully off Spanish Town Road in the vicinity of the Horizon Remand Center. He has been identified as Kemar Forbes from a Greenwich Farm address. According to police sources, Forbes received multiple gunshot wounds to the head. It is also believed that Forbes was killed on Spanish Town Road and later dumped in the gully. The Kingston Western Police are investigating. Rashawn Patterson, the man who is charged with the murder of popular social media influencer Anika Slickiana Townsend, has been denied bail. The denial was made by Justice Andrea Thomas when a bail application was made on Tuesday in the St. James Circuit Court. Justice Thomas, in handing down her ruling, said in her view the allegations of the Crown are serious enough and sufficient to form the view that if granted bail, the accused man will not return. The Crown had stated, among other reasons, that Patterson is a flight risk and that based on his history, if given bail, he may not show up for court. The Crown also told Justice Andrea Thomas that Patterson has another case in court in the parish of St. Andrew. That case has to do with an alleged abduction of a woman in 2018. The Crown told the court that Patterson was denied bail in that matter. Patterson is being represented by a new attorney, Dion Mailer-Barrett, who outlined reasons why he should be given bail. She said Patterson should be given bail on humanitarian grounds and based on the weakness of the Crown's case. Mailer-Barrett said her client, who is not a flight risk, suffers from 2 medical conditions and was in need of medical attention. She also claimed that he was in danger while in custody. However, Justice Thomas, in denying bail, did not agree. Justice Thomas, before giving Patterson a September 21 court return date, said she was satisfied that the police will be able to take care of his medical condition while in custody. Townsend's scantily clad body was retrieved from the sea in Reading, St. James on October 21. On November 11, the police had stated that Townsend traveled from Kingston to Montego Bay, where she was picked up by Patterson at approximately 7:30 p.m. on October 20. During the evening, they visited a restaurant in Hanover and a guest house in St. James. At some point during the night, an argument reportedly developed between them. Patterson is accused of strangling Townsend and disposing of her body. Patterson was named a person of interest on October 22. He was picked up at a guest house in Hanover by a police Area 1 operational team on November 2 after missing at least 2 deadlines to turn himself in. The police have charged a 17 and 18-year-old teen in relation to the robbery of a high school in Elim District, St. Elizabeth on February 3. They are charged with schoolhouse breaking, larceny, and receiving stolen property. The name of the 17-year-old is being withheld because he is a minor, while his co-accused has been identified as Kesonil Banton of Elim District. The police say about 3:30 p.m., Banton and the other teen forced open a window at the school where they allegedly stole more than 60 Samsung tablet computers with an estimated value of $2 million, a laptop, and an undetermined sum of cash. A report was made to the police and an investigation carried out. During the investigation, the police say the stolen items were found in possession of Banton and the other teen. They were arrested and subsequently charged after being questioned in the presence of their attorneys. They are scheduled to appear before the St. Elizabeth Parish Court on Tuesday, April 11. 2 Portmore residents who spent $1.7 million mistakenly sent to their account from a financial institution pleaded guilty when they appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Tuesday. Laborers 21-year-old Latina Ambersley and 24-year-old Dean Broderick, who pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit larceny and simple larceny, were each given a 1-year probation. They made restitution to representatives of Ready Cash Finance. Parish Judge Natalie Crary Dixon said that despite the repayment, their actions were motivated by greed and dishonesty, and they should have known better given their ages. Attorney at law Kamisha Harrison, in her submission, told the court that her clients have learned from their mistakes and are remorseful. The court heard that on October 5, 2022, the duo inadvertently received the money in their account from the company. Having received the money, they used the funds and failed to contact the loan company. The matter came to light after they were contacted by the company that they wrongfully received the $1.7 million. After the mistake was revealed, the police were contacted and both persons taken into custody. They were subsequently charged with conspiracy to commit larceny and simple larceny. The government will be widening the ban on single-use plastic in the 2023-2024 financial year. Minister with responsibility for the environment, Senator Matthew Samuda, says microbeads, which are plastics in personal care products, and plastic lunch boxes will be targeted under coming changes to the ban. The government has already imposed the ban on the importation, manufacture, and distribution of single-use plastic bags, straws, and polystyrene, which took effect on January 1, 2019. A move, Mr. Samuda says, has been bearing fruit. He further notes that his ministry will seek to engage the population on this important national issue as the push continues to encourage more Jamaicans to abide by the principles of environment preservation and protection. In business, Scotia Group Jamaica Limited has revealed plans to introduce a range of energy loans to its customers, including home equity and unsecured loans for the purchase of sustainable energy solutions such as electric and hybrid vehicles. It has not yet disclosed the maximum loan amount or interest rates, which will vary by product and will be announced upon launch in April. The move comes as the bank reports a 14% increase in its loan portfolio for the year ending October 2022, driven by strong growth in its mortgage and flagship product, Scotia Plan Loans. Scotiabank cited a growing interest from customers in reducing utility bills as the reason for entering the energy loans market, stating that it aims to support its customers' financial goals while also reducing carbon emissions and promoting sustainable energy use. In the region, the United Nations (UN) says new clashes between gangs in Haiti's capital and beyond have killed at least 187 people in less than 2 weeks and injured more than 150 others. The fresh wave of violence recorded between February 27 and March 9 has displaced hundreds of people and forced farmers to abandon fields as starvation worsens. The surge of violence in central Haiti has been largely blamed on a gang called Baz Grand Griff, which roughly translates to Big Claw Crew. In addition, nearly 260 kidnappings have been reported since the start of the year, with people abducted from their homes or public places. Gangs have grown more powerful since the July 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse and already control an estimated 60% of Port-au-Prince. Last week, Prime Minister Ariel Henry signaled that he is seeking to mobilize Haiti's military to help an under-resourced and understaffed police department fight the unrelenting gang violence, which has forced an increasing number of schools and businesses to shutter. On the international scene, a new United Nations-backed report says the world is rapidly approaching catastrophic levels of heating, with international climate goals set to slip out of reach unless immediate and radical action is taken. Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, says the climate bomb is ticking. He says humanity is on thin ice and that ice is melting quickly. The report states that humans are responsible for virtually all global heating over the last 200 years. The rate of temperature rise in the last half-century is the highest in 2,000 years. Guterres is calling for an end to new fossil fuel exploration and for rich countries to quit coal, oil and gas by 2040. Stepping up his pleas for action on fossil fuels, Mr. Guterres is calling for rich countries to accelerate their target for achieving net zero emissions to as early as 2040 and developing nations to aim for 2050, about a decade earlier than most current targets. And in sports news, after a series of high-level meetings last week, a second round of bids to buy Manchester United are due Wednesday. Representatives toured Old Trafford and the club's training ground last Thursday, meeting with United executives. Indicative offers were submitted to American merchant bank Rain last month. The next stage of the process included a closer look at United's business and meetings with key executives before making renewed bids. United is expected to become the most expensive sports team in history, with the price estimated to reach up to $6 billion. And that's it for your news roundup for today. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment, and share the video with your family and friends. I am Abigail Smythe. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!